When Cherry Blossoms Whisper. Volume 1, The First Petal. Chapter 11, Rival School Sabotage. The evening had felt like a quiet victory. The DIY festival, though born out of necessity, had turned out to be a resounding success. They had pulled it off, surpassed expectations thanks to everyone's hard work and ingenuity. Haruto found himself in a state of contentment he hadn't experienced in a while, the sweet exhaustion of a job well done settling over him. He glanced over at Sakura, who was, as usual, lost in her thoughts. She hadn't said much since their conversation under the stars, but the silence between them no longer felt as awkward as before. It felt natural. As the group gathered to clean up, the sounds of their laughter and chatter were interrupted by a loud crash from the center of the festival grounds. Haruto, Yui, and the others froze, their heads snapping toward the noise. "What was that?" Yui asked, her voice tight with concern. Rushing over to the center of the grounds, the group was met with an unpleasant sight. The carefully crafted art and poetry displays that had been the highlight of the festival were ruined. Paintings were slashed, and papers that had been meticulously written on had been torn to shreds. The centerpiece of their exhibition, a stunning sculpture created by one of their classmates, was completely smashed. It looked like someone had intentionally gone through and destroyed everything they had worked so hard to build. Who would do this? Takahiro, one of the club members, muttered, his face pale with disbelief. "I'll tell you who," Yui said, her voice tinged with anger. "It's them, the students from the rival school. They've been gunning for us all year. This is sabotage." Haruto clenched his fists, frustration bubbling up in his chest. They had worked so hard for this moment, and now it was being torn away. He could feel the weight of everyone's disappointment settling in. "Wait," Sakura said suddenly, her voice cutting through the tension. "We can't just stand here. We have to do something." Haruto looked at her, surprised. Her calm demeanor was the only thing that seemed to steady the group in this moment of chaos. "What do you suggest?" Sakura took a deep breath, her eyes scanning the wreckage before her. "We're not going to let them win," she said firmly. "Let's think about this logically. We have the materials. We still have the audience. Let's improvise something new, something even better." Yui, despite her initial shock, nodded in agreement. "Sakura's right. We've always been able to turn things around in the past. We just need to think outside the box." Haruto felt a flicker of hope. Maybe the setback wasn't the end. Maybe it was an opportunity to show what they were really made of. The group immediately split up to salvage what they could. Takahiro and a few other members went to gather the damaged paintings while Yui and the others scrambled to find fresh paper and materials for new displays. Haruto, feeling the pressure mounting, grabbed a few scattered brushes and canvases from the pile of ruined art. Sakura stood beside him, her calm demeanor never wavering as she began to sketch a quick outline for a new poem. The team had always worked well together, but this time it felt more like a race against time. Haruto turned to her as she wrote, admiring how effortlessly she created. The speed at which she worked was impressive, but it was the emotion behind it that caught him. Her haiku from earlier still lingered in his mind. Was she really talking about herself? About how fragile and fleeting things could be, just like the fireflies they had watched? He wasn't sure, but somehow watching her work in this moment gave him a deeper understanding of her. There was strength behind that quiet exterior, strength that was now becoming more visible to him. As the deadline loomed, the group came together, working furiously but cohesively. In the span of just a few hours, they had completely transformed their broken exhibit into something new, a blend of art and poetry that showcased the resilience of their club. When the judges arrived, they were met with a surprising sight. The walls were covered with new paintings, some abstract, others more traditional, all accompanied by thought-provoking poems that spoke of perseverance, creativity, and the beauty of unexpected moments. The art-poetry fusion wasn't just a patchwork of their previous designs, it was something new, something born from the ruins of what had been destroyed. The judges were visibly impressed. "This is remarkable," one of them said, his tone almost incredulous. "You managed to create this in such a short time? Incredible." Yui stood beside the judges, trying to hide the smile tugging at her lips. "We may have had a few setbacks, but we're a team. And we always find a way to make things work." As the judges continued to praise their exhibit, Haruto couldn't help but feel a swell of pride. They had done it. They had turned disaster into triumph. And what's more, they had done it together. Sakura, who had been quietly working in the background, finally stood up, wiping her hands on her jeans. "It's funny," she murmured, her eyes lingering on the art they had created. "Sometimes it takes something falling apart to make something truly beautiful." Haruto smiled at her, his heart fluttering slightly. There it was again, the depth behind her words. He didn't know exactly what it was, but something about Sakura's presence made him want to be a better version of himself. The group gathered around the finished display, exhausted but content. There was still work to be done, but the night had been an unexpected success. I guess the rival school thought they could break us, Yui said, her voice triumphant. But all they did was give us the chance to prove ourselves. Haruto felt a sense of calm wash over him. They had faced adversity, and instead of crumbling, they had emerged stronger than before. It was a lesson he would carry with him. Thanks for watching our video. If you find this video interesting, then please subscribe our YouTube channel. If you're watching this video from TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram, then follow our page for more contents like this.